Hi, how are you? Happy 4th of July.
She'll grow up and put on her suits and try to change the world.
Now, today I just have a really quick story time because it's a little funny. It's from a gig that I did a couple years ago on the 4th of July, and I thought it was fitting since today's a holiday. So, I had a gig. It was an outdoor celebration of the 4th of July, and I was setting up my rig and doing atmospheric work with silks. So it was an ambiance gig for silks. I was the only performer. I had my mom come on setup crew and help me with that, but I was the only performer and it was multiple hours. So I had a lot of work to do and it was just me doing silks. Okay. So it had probably been about an hour and a half of me doing this gig. I was all like decked out in my sparkly leotard. I had my headpiece in. I'll put some photos up because it was honestly a really fun event. But it had been about an hour and a half and I wanted to tie a sling knot up in the air. Now, a sling knot, for those of you who don't do silks, is just like a slip knot. It takes both tails of the fabric and turns them into like a swing, basically. Now, if you do silks, you know, or you might know, that you can tie a sling knot in the air with your feet in a Russian climb. And I love doing that. So I was like, I'm going to go do that. And I'm going to put a sling knot high up so that I can do some things that are easier on me because I was doing the whole gig and you get very tired. So I wanted to do some kind of passive things sitting in my swing up high. So I climb up, I put in the knot. I'm just chilling up there. And then I notice that a photographer comes over and he's a photographer for the festival. So I knew that he was taking pictures of me specifically at that moment. And so I, of course, being extra, was just like showing out. I was doing flips. I was in the knot up high doing all these tricks. And I am not that light. You know, I've got a good amount of weight and force when I do aerial silks. And so I'm doing flips on this knot and it's getting really tight. But he gets his good photos. That's all wonderful. He walks away. So I come down to get some water and rest for a second. And normally when you slide underneath the knot, it will pull the knot out. It didn't pull the knot out. So that was kind of like red flag number one. But like sometimes I just make really tight knots. It's not the first time I've made a tight knot. I was like, whatever. I drink my water. I come back. I decide that I want to not do sling anymore. So I'm trying to pull the knot out. And I am down here at the ground. It's like a 21-foot rig. And so it's tied up pretty high. And I don't have the leverage because with the knots, you pull them sideways. That gives you leverage to untie them. But I was at the bottom, so I couldn't pull it apart because it was so long. And I'm just getting nowhere. It's not untying. I'm not getting leverage. Now, mind you, this entire time that I'm trying to get this knot out, there are like 300 people watching me. Like there were so many people at this event. And so I'm over there with my like leotard and my sparkles trying to smile, stay composed while I'm like trying to use all of my strength to pull this knot apart and it's not working. Not working. You get it? You get it? Anyway, and so I'm trying to pull it apart. It's not working. I climb up and I'm trying to like undo the knot manually, but same thing. I'm just like doing this really awkward task, feeling so embarrassed, trying to like be professional and like poised, and that's not working either. So I come back down. My mom is like, I can get it out, but I don't want her to cross the performer line because I had tape up for this gig, and so like I don't want her to do it, so I want to do it, but I'm dying because I've already been performing for like an hour and a half, so I'm pretty dead. My arms are getting burnt out trying to pull this knot out. And so I think maybe I can use my body weight as leverage because if you pull on the tail, it'll take the knot out. So I'm underneath the knot and I'm like jumping. I'm like on the silks, bouncing up and down, trying to get my weight to take the knot out. But like, think about how awkward that is when there's an audience watching you and you're all like dolled up, but you're like doing like boingy, like pogo stick looking junk underneath the silks. Not a cute look. Long story short, we got the knot out. It took like 45 minutes for me to get this stupid knot out. And needless to say, I did traditional silks the rest of the time. I didn't tie it up again. And the rest of the event went over. What kind of English am I even trying to say? The rest of the event went smoothly. There we go. So the rest of the event went totally fine, and that was the only hiccup, but you know, it didn't cause any damage or harm really, but it was a little embarrassing, and I think it's a funny story, and I felt that it was fitting for today. So I hope you guys got a little laugh out of that random gig story time. All right, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I hope you have a happy and safe 4th of July.
This little daisy girl wasn't made to break.
You can tie a Russian climb with your feet. So